Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Well, we got a line of disturbances out in the Eastern Pacific coming off of Central America like it does this time of year. A steady stream of tropical disturbances, and they're predicting some of those are going to turn into a cyclone or cyclones in this coming week. So as much as I wanted to sit here like this in just shorts in the shade, I'm going to get all covered up and start preparing for the disturbances. And they're saying that the Big Island will take the brunt of whatever comes. So now's a good time to get going. And I'm going to kind of show you what I do in preparation, because I don't want to make any last minute. I'm not a good last minute person. I want to be prepared. And I just looked at the satellite images, and yeah, there's a lot of disturbance out in the Eastern Pacific, right on time for coming into the peak hurricane season out here. It's been quiet so far, but it's looking a little bumpy out there, and they're saying by this weekend might get bumpy right here. So I need to make room in my truck, which I've been gathering up some rubbish in preparation for a run that I was going to do later in this week to the dump. I'm going to get it out of here today, so I have an empty truck in case I have to load up essentials and possibly bug out. So that's how I get prepared. All right, I got my truck loaded up and covered up, so I'm going to head out to the dump, or what we call the transfer station out here. One of the great things Hawaii does is make disposing of your refuse free, and that's a good thing. So like I said, I need to make room in my truck in case I have to possibly bug out. I always prepare for that when they start talking about tropical cyclones, or otherwise known as hurricanes. And since they are saying at the very least we should get significant moisture this weekend, and when they say significant out here, that can be, feet of rain coming down. So I've got my truck completely full and covered with this. You guys might remember this. This was that old temporary catchment tank that I was using during the drought. One of them held up, this one did not, but it makes a great cover for getting down the road. So yeah, I don't like waiting till the very last minute, because that's when things get real busy out there. So today I'm going to make room in my truck for possible having to load it with essentials and get out of here. And the reason for that is if we were to take a good direct hit with some strong winds, could get trapped back in here with the falling trees. So, if that is being predicted as these storms get closer, then I would contemplate, maybe moving to higher ground. So anyway, not worried, but like I said, this is just kind of normal operating procedures during this time of year. I like to be stocked up, which I am. Everybody should have your 2 weeks worth of food and water, right? That's what they say. I'm covered there, but I'm also trying to plan for any other contingency that might pop up. So yeah, today just going to head out, dump this out. So yeah, this is the main way in and out of here, and this is actually considered a good road. The one I just came off of, not so good. And yeah, this is a little bumpy, as you can probably tell, but we're going downhill, and when we start getting 2-3 inches of rain per hour coming down from some of those tropical storms, this is an actual river, sometimes well over a foot deep, and racing down this hill, just chewing up this road. And if we get strong winds as we're heading downhill, some of these trees can topple over, block the road some, and it takes a while to get us all cut out and cleared, which is done by the people that live back here. No one comes to our rescue out here, but we got enough people with chainsaws. We can get out here and clear the road if need be. But the main thing I want to be prepared for is the eventuality of of having to actually head to higher ground if they're predicting some super strong winds back here. That I would wait till the last minute before the storm really got on top of me. You know, we can get a pretty good read on how strong the winds are going to be. And, you know, we've got just short of a week's preparation here, which is why I'm doing this. This is a Monday. They're saying Saturday and Sunday, one of the first tropical cyclone has the possibility of being on top of us. So yeah, it's just getting prepared that might have to do something. I hope not to do anything. I hope just to be, you know, stocked up, sitting there, letting it rain, which it looks like that's going to be a reality, but we're used to that out here. So, okay, heading downhill and get rid of this rubbish. All right, just got back and it's emptied out. So that was step one. So in order for me to actually load this truck up and bug out, that would be under super extreme conditions, ones where I was anticipating not being able to get back to this place, or that it might be completely leveled and there was no place to come back to. Is the only reason I would load this truck up and bug out completely with it full of a lot of things that I wouldn't want to try to replace. So in my case, it's going to be a lot of solar equipment and batteries, because if I had to land somewhere else, I'm going to want to have to, you know, power up and pitch a tent and whatever, you know, on the higher ground. Most of the friends I have out here are even closer to the coast than I am. And most of us, including them, I would say, would never even consider leaving. We've been struck with pretty good sized hurricanes here in the past few years. Cat 5s even making direct lines for us, bumping our shores at Cat 4. And I have seen some significant damage even out here right where I'm standing. Like I've said, I had to cut my way just out of here and then along the road out that I showed you earlier. Not anticipating that, but I want to have the option to do that. And, you know, now I just looked at the news since I got back here to see, and they're just saying significant weather from one of these developing cyclones on Sunday. So plenty of time to get ready. I'm not planning on bugging out, and it would have to be, the news would have to be like, you know, bug out before I would even consider it. So, but I had to have that truck opened up in case. So what are some of the other things that I think about in a situation like this? And this is kind of just routine for me, but I'll show you some of the other things that I do, and I know a lot of you guys do too, where you can watch an approaching disaster head your way. So high on the priority list would be, you know, my animals, which is 2 cats. This guy and P in there, and I just built them their little hurricane shelter today, and she's already taking shelter. And since Blacken likes to be sitting on top, he's just sitting up there normally watching what's going on, right? Okay, so you got to gather up your animals. Got to have plenty of their food, right? And then pack in water for yourself as well. I would probably pack about 10 gallons of fresh drinking water for me and the cats. And besides a cooler full of food, I would take something that I could cook it with, and I would just simply pack this induction cooktop. It'll easily be run. I can have a solar system up and running, you know, out of the truck within minutes, and be able to cook food that I will have stored in a cooler with my water. I pack a little water filtration as well. I've got a couple of other filtration units that I would have in a box. And I can't stress this enough. Have your important papers ready to go at a moment's notice. Make sure you grab those. And why do I say the important papers? Well, we learned in the 2018 Kilauea eruption, when lava was wiping out thousands of homes, people that needed to get back into their area to see if their house was there You know, it was all cordoned off. All those neighborhoods were cordoned off, roadblocks everywhere. And they would only let people in there if you could prove that you were a landowner. And the reason is because, as we all know, in disasters, it brings out the best in people and it brings out the worst in people. So they were only letting in people that could prove they went back there to prevent things like looting. It still didn't prevent it. There was plenty of looting that went on during that natural disaster. So, you know, you need to be able to prove who you are. And if you want to get back to your area after the storm has passed, you need to prove that you are a landowner back in there, because they're not going to let you in otherwise, under no conditions. So yeah, make sure you have that. So yeah, in my case, I'm going to be packing, you know, sleeping material, enough to, you know, camp out, pitch a tent, be able to be comfortable wherever I would have to land, have my food, water, and shelter, as I've just beat that drum all the time out here, and you guys know that on these videos. I always talk about food, water, and shelter. And even if I had to move away from here for protection, and I would, like I said, only do that under extreme circumstances. Otherwise, I'm riding the storm out. But it's good to have it ready to go. It's not hard to have your papers ready to go. It's not hard to have a, you know, because like in a cyclone or hurricane, right, we're going to wait up to the last minute when they were saying, hey, if you're in this neighborhood, better bug out. Some people will, some people won't. And you have to take that into, you know, whatever you're willing to ride out. For me, the only way I'm walking away from this place ever is if it's a real good chance it wouldn't be here. So during the storm. So you got to take care of your family, your animals, yourself. And like I said, I would pack a lot of the things that I know I need, but with also the anticipation of coming back. And you're going to need that paperwork for that. Too many people could not get back and even empty their homes out while lava was heading their way, because they couldn't prove when they bugged out, they didn't take their paperwork, and they couldn't prove when they tried to get back in that they really belonged there. So that's why I do this all right now. You know, Sunday's, you know, a week away. Just plan for whatever may come now. I don't think it's going to. They're saying Sunday, severe weather is all they're saying. Well, that's okay. But these conditions overall, you know, can change very quickly, you know. Those hurricanes, as they approach these islands, typically we have a little bit cooler water around these islands, which make most of the hurricanes get chewed up pretty quick upon arrival. Before they make landfall, the cooler waters can beat them up pretty good. There's already one that they say will develop into a hurricane right now, but the cooler waters are going to destroy that one. But one that has slipped a little further south and could still come north towards the island, you know, we just have to wait and see what happens there. So these are the days to be ready. So I've got all my real emergency stuff. In the next couple of days, I'm going to head up into the bungalow, fill up some boxes that I can just run up in there real quick, drop them into the truck and take off. And like I said, I'll have a couple of solar systems in those boxes if need be. Yeah, so if I'm doing that, that means I'm not thinking about coming back for a little while. And I don't think that's going to happen, but I want to have it ready just in case. And it's not a big deal to have it ready. And as beautiful as it is right now, they're saying it's going to be like this till probably Saturday. So yeah, it doesn't give people with this kind of weather much incentive to do much, but yeah, and you know, hopefully they're paying attention enough just to the news that they're making some preparations. Most people back out in here are pretty well prepared, and I would say most aren't leaving no matter what. So, and I consider myself to be one of those. Yeah, it would have to be, you know, something pretty serious for me to think about that kind of a thing, but I got to think about it a little bit. So I consider this week just a nice trial run to get my reflexes back in order around these type of things. This is the type of, or the time of season when, you know, anything goes storm-wise out here. We did have that one Cat 4 one-time bounce off right here. It knocked some trees down right here. Almost took one of my vehicles out of commission. Missed when a huge tree fell down. Missed that vehicle by less than 1 foot. I mean, I don't know how it missed it, but if it would have caught that right over the engine compartment, that'd have been it. I'd have been dead in the water right there. So, yeah, because of the history I've experienced, I plan a little bit more accordingly to the possibilities. And as you can see, it's just absolutely gorgeous right now, and supposed to be that way all week. So it's a good time to get things in order. Over the next couple of days, I do have some room in a couple of freezers to go ahead and top those off. I will go ahead and do that because, you know, come Saturday, if the news would start to get a little more people, you guys really need to be prepared. Well, then those stores are going to be a mess and they get emptied out fast, you know, the day before. And I don't ever want to be out there during that. So, you know, the next couple days is the time for me to go ahead and, you know, make sure I've got everything. And I really always do, but hey, I've got a little more room in the freezers that I can fill up. So I probably will just go ahead and do that, especially while the shelves are full. So yeah, it's the beginning of the season out here. And if you just look at that stream, that's Central America. It's almost like there's a hurricane factory over there just spitting those things out. And I've watched that pattern year after year after year, and it's just amazing. So yeah, now's the season to be ready. So yeah, food, water, and shelter, of course, your important papers, your pets, your pet food, maybe a little first aid kit, of course. And I know there's a few other things that are escaping me at the moment. And the nice thing about that is, you know, over the next couple of days, as I'm sitting there going down my checklist, I can be like, oh yeah, I did forget that. So, you know, got the time to be well prepared. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere unless it's dire. And I mean dire, because for me to leave my sanctuary, they'd have to be saying risk of death, I think. Anyway, just another day in paradise, you guys. But it's the season. All right. I'm going to go sit down and see what else I might have forgot to mention, but see what you guys, you know, in these situations, what do you guys make sure you make sure you have? Hard to believe. It's always like so beautiful when they're talking about that could change. Aloha, you guys. But hey, I got my truck ready. Don't plan on having to bug. But I got room, if need be. Okay. Yeah, just do it nice and slow and relax into it. All right, you guys. Emergency radio, cell phone. Oh yeah, that portable reverse osmosis system too. That'd be handy. Never know. My entire tool bag, of course. All my blue devices. For sure. Yep. Yeah. You guys get the idea. Do it while you can relax. Last moment, not good time. You'll forget something. When you have days to prepare, take your time, go down your list. There's lots of things I haven't mentioned, but come Saturday, if things are starting to look dicey, or Sunday, things start to look dicey, I will show you what my enhanced list looks like, because I've got time, so I can do this just nice and relaxed. That's the main thing. You think better when you're relaxed and going down your checklist, rather than waking up in the middle of the night and deciding it's too rough to stay, and you bug out with only half of what you needed, if that.